Two members of Congress present at today's hearing. The ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCaul, and a congressman from California, Darrell Issa, who's been working very hard behind the scenes, along with others, in fairness, to help rescue Americans caught behind enemy lines. Congressman McCaul, let's start with that last answer, because obviously he was caught flat-footed. Your reaction?
Well, I think he was caught flat-footed the entire hearing. He could not explain how he's going to get American citizens left behind enemy lines out. The interpreters, as you mentioned, are being executed right now by the Taliban. And when I asked him about what are we doing about our intelligence and surveillance, reconnaissance, ISR capabilities, we have no eyes and ears on the ground in Afghanistan, Sean, anymore. It's dark. And we can't see Russia, China, and Iran as well. And when I asked him about this, and I asked him, did President Putin threaten the United States of America, telling him that he could not build intelligence capabilities in the region? He could not respond to that question other than to say, we need to go to another setting to talk about that.
You know, Congressman Issa, we can't get a direct number of how many Americans are caught behind enemy lines. I saw your stated number publicly of about 500. If we added family members, probably over 1,000. Tell us what the latest numbers you're getting are, because we have people like yourself and others. These stories will be told, stories you know about and I know about, efforts to help save Americans, but we can't tell it now. How many Americans do you estimate are behind enemy lines, and how many Afghan allies are left behind enemy lines with data that will likely get them killed?
Well, it's many thousands of those people who fought and helped us throughout the years that are genuinely and accurately entitled to those visas that the State Department never issued, then burned and left without granting. But the number of 500 or so is still a very valid number, perhaps a little more. Only 60 additional Americans and their families have gotten out in the last few days, with a lot of fanfare from the State Department, even though they did not come out on a chartered flight by the State Department or in any other way were assisted by the State Department. As a matter of fact, when I questioned the Secretary on something that says, do not count on your government, he absolutely said, well, that's not true, even though it both came off his website and was emailed to us by State Department officials.
I've seen those, and I quoted a lot of them. Congressman McCaul, the administration is saying the Taliban is professional and businesslike. Now we see them beating women almost on a daily basis. We see the segregation in schools now. It's only a matter of time before women won't go to work or school. We get these reports of young girls ripped away from their moms and dads and married off to Taliban members. Is that professional and businesslike in your view, and the videos of women being beaten in your view? How does somebody make such an ignorant statement as they have?
It's so naive. And let's introduce the new Taliban government, the new team. One actually harbored bin Laden, the Haqqani network, infamous for tying itself with Al-Qaeda. Every one of these members, and the Taliban 5, they got released from Guantanamo courtesy of President Obama, now are part of the Afghan Taliban governance. I think this is, and the idea that Sean, they're going to try to negotiate to legitimize this government, that they can somehow trust them, is one of the worst foreign policy debacles, I think I've seen in my lifetime. These are terrorists. And you know what?
Well, they
have a lot of weapons now that they've inherited, and they have Al-Qaeda building, and this is worse than pre-9/11, and the terror threat's going to be real.
Congressman Issa, they wouldn't give us the name of the ISIS-K person that they claim they took out with a drone strike. Now the Washington Post and New York Times are saying that actually it was a 43-year-old engineer working with a group, Nutrition and Education International, which aimed to eliminate malnutrition in Afghanistan, and 7 children were killed. Did they lie to us?
They may have lied, or they may just be that wrong. Understand that when they completely withdrew the State Department and the Central Intelligence people and the soft people, they lost all their ability to be accurate. So I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I suspect they didn't know and they made something up. But again, Sean, if this administration trusts this government so much, why is the embassy empty? Why did it have to be withdrawn if, in fact, we were going to hand over to these terrorists a country?
We watched them on the march in February, March, April, May, and we watched the Afghan army collapse, and they didn't push them back, and they didn't expedite the withdrawal. It could have been done safely while we had control. We could have saved every ally, every American, and we wouldn't have had to leave them $billions and billions of dollars on our military equipment. Thank you both. Congressman Issa, keep up the good work. Same with you, Congressman McCaul. I hope you can save a lot more Americans.